Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. So, it's another week of Ether Raids gone by, and looks like we're ending out with 12,200 lifts, so exactly at the tier 24 cutoff, and that's guaranteed because we just got this pretty recently, and there's 4 hours left, so we should be fine. Trademark. But anyways, as expected, Fjorm's a bonus unit, and people are getting remotely smarter, and this map got nerfed, so it's pretty expected that I would get a worse matchup cards overall, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Seems like they're planning to just straight up bait or go in. Both approaches are equally valid, nothing wrong. And it looks like they're going to go for the snipe Sheeta and run approach, which is totally acceptable if you do it right. You can't even one-shot Sheeta because nice panic manner, am I right? So they set up their position like this, pretty legitimate, nothing too spoopy. Nino's just going to be rallying, and unfortunately because of Tactics Room, we can't get a meme future vision. It wouldn't have happened, I don't think, but more Nino memeing, just wrecking people for breakfast, and unfortunately Legendary Lucina just can't do anything. Gets exactly one shot by Alm, doesn't really matter, but at this point it's a pretty easy sweep for him. Alm's able to live by 1 HP, so that's a bit unfortunate, but I mean, we do end up getting the kill anyways. Doesn't matter too much. And they surrender here, which is, well, RIP. It didn't have to go that way, but I mean, I guess it did. And like usual, people with their shenanigans, level 5 forts and end turn strategies, which are pretty optimal if you ask me. I mean, you still have to do it right. A lot of people, like, technically, most of the time, because of how defenses are nowadays, you can pretty much just use the end turn strategy and win. But against the better defenses, the end turn strategy is actually pretty bad because most people engineered their defenses to troll that kind of stuff. So there's that. Lucina somehow living, doesn't matter because he has Vengeful Fighter, and that's a rip because he has Vengeful Fighter again, and he's fast enough to double back. I think that's how that works. I wasn't really paying attention, but they're just gonna end turn. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, there's core in here, but Nino does not have anywhere near enough res. Wings of Mercy coming in, nothing too special happening. Can't really punish anything with this current setup. I have Legendary Lucina out in the open now because in the rare chance someone just decides to aggro and leave, Kaden can move up and then Legendary Lucina can use Future Vision, but it's not particularly great. I don't think anyone's like fallen for it, or if they did, they just, you know, had someone there to bait Lucina, so it wasn't really, wouldn't work out in my favor. But the common thing I'm seeing nowadays is I'm seeing a lot of Gale Force strategies used against my team, and that is probably the most consistent strategy for shredding my team. Like, you don't need anything super fancy, you just need to have really high consistency Gale Forces, which of course is the big investment part of things, but with how everything is, how they have everything set up, it's very easy for them to just sweep here. So yeah, nothing too special. And they're just gonna have Marita tank because she's fast enough to avoid the double and such, so nothing too special going on here. It's just an easy sweep for them. But yeah, Gale Force strategy is definitely very strong against my team. I don't have any real counter to it, because I don't have, say, pulse smoke or any super meme shenanigans. And my team's kind of all, I guess, like separated from each other because I'm trying to have Caden transform, of course, without using any dragons or anything. So they can just, a lot of people can just use Gale Force and run. And, you know, run double dancers and stuff. I honestly think, though, that if intelligent systems wanted to make AR harder for offense, which I don't think they are, considering their preference is to nerf maps. My opinion on it is they're just gonna keep nerfing maps as they deem necessary, and pretty much everything else is whatever. But in the rare chance they did want to make AR harder, then they could limit dancers on both offense and defense to 1. And I think that'd be totally balanced, Kappa. My reasoning is on defense. If you only have 1 dancer, you have to make really good use of that 1 dancer, because I see plenty of people do the normal, you know, rally trap or whatever, and it doesn't really do much, if I'm being honest. It'll work against the noobs and stuff, but for the experienced players, it's kind of just exploitable, because if you set up that rally trap, you're basically guaranteeing, as long as the rallier is eligible and the dancer is eligible to rally and dance respectively, you're guaranteeing that one of them is going to be sticking around. They're not going to attack and get themselves murdered. So, yeah, I don't know what I think about rally traps. I personally just use it because it's the only real consistent way for me to buff Nino. But in reality, you don't really need it. And yeah, the heavy trap, the bolt trap's just a meme. The actual optimal play is just to not upgrade it at all, but I upgrade it personally just because I wanted to meme back then, and that's why I have both heavy and bolt traps maxed. Still silly. Heavy trap, I don't know. It's the rogue trap that's like can be deadly in some setups, where if some unit actually gets hit by the gravity effect, it can be pretty dangerous. So here they do this, which I'm like, that's fine, because they use Fjorm here, so they have a pretty comfortable easy cheese kind of deal. Eric is going to easily one-shot, nothing much I can do. And they can just sit chill around and not really do anything. So, there's not really much I can do. The panic ploy happened, which is kind of cool, but no one can really do any damage, so yeah, it doesn't even matter. I don't even know if they considered the panic manner at all, because they were definitely buffing, but maybe, I don't know. But a lot of people don't seem to realize that the panic manor is in range of that spot, so I've had my fair share of people just getting their units murdered. I don't know what to think about it. At this point, nothing too special here. They can basically do whatever they want and win, as long as they don't just step on the bolt trap and hit end turn. So I think then Eric would probably die. Oop. Battery kinda low, feels dirt man. Very professional videos, no lie. But it's pretty much just a string of failures this week, because now that Naga's around, people have their HP and stuff. But the big thing is Fjorm is bonus, so it makes defenses like mine even more trivial, which makes it even worse when when somehow people lose units even while you having Bride Fjorm on their team. It's like, what are you doing? You had one job. But nothing too special is going to happen here. It's not too relevant that Caden managed to lunge, as well there's nowhere to Wings of Mercy to. So it's kind of awkward. Not much we can do. But of course, it's the classic. If you somehow... And they're so worried about future vision that they do that. There's no need to, because Cannagus is in range, so there's no chance Lucina uses future vision. But trauma, I'm telling you, the real way to beat people in AR Kappa. So now they're going after the ether structures. It shouldn't be difficult, but they're making it more difficult than it should be. That's all I gotta say. Unfortunately, Nino can't double in whatever, so there's that. But, I mean, that awkward moment when Nino's actually doing damage. What is this? I was also thinking about bringing, what's her name? Winter Erica, Christmas Erica, however you want to call her. Because, you know, she has Joyous Lantern and, what do you call it? Joyous Lantern and Attack Opening. You know, it's pretty good. I mean, at this point, you know, if they didn't have Fiorm, you know how this would go. But I hope they, you know, knew that by doing what they did, if they didn't disable the rally, things would have happened. But they still lost units anyways, so yeah. Moving on. It's like, how do you lose units even while disabling? I don't know. Don't question it. This is AR in a nutshell. But in terms of how I did on offense, I guess, since there's not much to talk about, I did all right. One match I just did not care at all, and I just sent Nino in even though I knew she was going to die, because I presumed the heavy trap was real, but then I made the AR noob strategy gamble of assuming that the heavy trap was not at least level 4, is it? It's at least 50 HP. So instead of smiting in Fiorm, who had like 56 HP, so she could never be hit by the gravity effect, what was I saying? Right, so instead of smiting Fiorm, I smited in Nino, and I couldn't get her out. So I was like, well, as the noob has to do, you just go in and try to do things, but not really. And so that didn't go very well. But I still ended up winning that match because that's pretty much AR defense in a nutshell. A lot of teams have a hard time actually sweeping, but getting single kills and stuff, that's pretty simple. And here we have someone with Roy, you know, pretty acceptable strategy. Definitely an acceptable strategy because Legendary Lucina can never kill anything. Memes aside, that's pretty much one of the things you can do against my defense. Just leave the Amphory up and it's pretty chill. But they think Roy can handle Panic Manor because his HP stat is very great. No lie, his HP stat's so great. Top of the line tier unit, Kappa. But yeah. I don't know, the Panic Manor seems to get people. I don't know, I personally know from experience how that's possible because I've done it plenty of times before, but you know, if you do it a lot of times, at some point you gotta think that, you know, people would figure it out at some point to be a little more cautious and check whenever they see Panic Manor, but I guess not. Yeah, this person's using Armor School, presumably because they don't like armor balls, which I have not seen in ages. So there's that. But here we have a Grima trying to be a tank. And so I think you know how this is going to go. Like it goes every single time that there's a semi-not-so-competent unit going in here. So that's a rip. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the way things are, can't get any meme feature vision plays or anything, but I mean, they're just gonna hide in the corner because that's pretty optimal, as we all know. There's absolutely nothing wrong with hiding in the corner at all. Definitely not. Anyways, unfortunately, we have Panic Manor on us, so we still actually do a decent amount of damage, which is kind of interesting to a Versa. And Naga's able to double, but of course they leave their Naga there, so you all know what's going to happen next. So yeah, it pretty much fell apart once they tried to use Grima to tank at that particular spot. I mean, their Grima didn't even just straight up face tank Nino, so there's that. They weren't really using too many buffs either. Of course, not everyone has Kaden or whatever, but I'm pretty sure people can get their hands on a copy of Launch Marth or Male Corrin. Like, they're pretty decent buffers. Kaden's just the ultimate top tier, highest buffing, stat buffing unit in the game right now, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of consistency and just raw amount of buffs and stuff, it's really pretty good. But yeah, just the usual. Kaden never doing any damage, but we get some Wings of Mercy in there to get a kill. That's all we're gonna get, because that's how this works. When people bait on this side, not much I can do. But, you know, you gotta take those kills when you can get them. Nino is just gonna go after Faye, so that's a rip. Rally memes still trolling people. Don't know why. I'm gonna go ahead and surrender here, presumably because they have ladder or something still. I didn't even pay attention to see if they had a ladder. But I don't know. V-Arm's definitely pretty underwhelming because most of the time she's not actually doing anything. Especially when she's going to not be bonus unit. Like this V-Arm, for example, would have like 47 HP, which is still pretty good for, you know, deploying units like mine. But, I mean, I don't know. And I mean, here we go again with the shenanigans. Grima is able to one-shot, so no big deal. And just the usual formation that happens afterwards. And they're just gonna run. Pretty simple, but they bait like that, so we all know what's going to happen next. Aha. Because I don't know if they calculated this or not, but you know, Azura actually does damage, so she's not going to dance Nino. It's good manipulation of the AI, nothing too special there. But you know, for people who aren't particularly experienced in that stuff, it looks pretty galaxy brain, but not really. I unironically do it a lot, so, and they just smartly wait. They don't need to risk anything with the bolt traps and such. They can just wait it out and go in afterwards. So, pretty comfortable win for them. And, you know, just more failures, a rematch. I think you can pretty much tell what people's strategies are based on what units there are. I have yet to see some strategy where you can't predict what the strategy is before seeing the team. I mean, right after seeing just the units in the team. It's all pretty copy and paste nowadays. At least this person's using a pretty cool Fjorm build with Casablanca. Definitely helps to counter Nino and such. Unfortunately, my healing tower is out. And Fjorm doubles anyways, so that's a rip. So we can't do any meme shenanigans with that. That's usually how it goes. If I wanted to expand on my current strategy, I'd probably kick out Sheeta, honestly. She never really does much other than be a Wings of Mercy melee unit. that occasionally can murder some units, but she usually either gets just targeted or just gets doubled because she's too slow. Even though she's plus speed, plus 9 with Fury 3, I think. So yeah, great stuff. I do think eventually at some point I want to go for plus attack Sheeta, but she hasn't shown up yet, so still plus 9. Not much to say there. And last but not least, this person's strategy, which you can clearly tell is a very great strategy. There's absolutely nothing wrong about this strategy, am I right? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. They don't also particularly have all the right blessings, but that's kind of what happens when the new set of offensive blessings come out and things happen. I'm kind of curious at this point how the newer mythic heroes are going to be, considering of course we now have one of each finally. Ether Race has been out for many months now, and somehow, just somehow, they've managed to take this long. But I think you know how this is gonna go. The classic rally meme trap. That's Rip 1. And classic Flora, just doing her thing. Picnic Flora is super underwhelming for me. Not gonna lie. Oh gosh, she is something else. Like, half the time I can murder her with Nino, and if I'm really memeing, half the time I can just straight up bait Flora with Nino. Because memes, not this week, but like during light seasons, I can just straight up bait some Floras and like live their icebergs and stuff, because Flora is a great unit, no lie, Kappa. But yeah, not much to talk about. It's just me derping around on defense, nothing too special. I think in general my skill sets haven't changed much. I've just been fiddling around with things, but not really. So yeah, not much developments going on. And next season, infantry school's not gonna be cool, of course, using Nino and Duma's bonus. But it's not, the seasons won't align too properly, so that's great for that week, for next week or next season. So I'll probably be using either Alphonse, probably Alphonse honestly, or Gunthra for bonus. Nothing too special. But enough rambling, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!